Hi, I'm here at City Hall meeting Anu Natarajan. She's a city council member here and has been for over 5 years in the city of Fremont. She's running again for office on November 2nd, so please welcome Anu Natarajan.
Thank you very much for having me.
Anu, you are running for your second term in the city of Fremont. How is that going so far?
We've just started a campaign running for my second full term in city council. I've been on the council for about 5.5 years now. I'm hoping that a lot of people will come forward and help with the campaign as well.
Yeah, and in addition to that, how are you engaging people? How are you bringing them into the campaign, especially the Indian community in Fremont?
One of the advantages I've had is that I have done a campaign before, so I've got a database of people that did help and that have offered to help. So that's who you start with, and you've got your core team. And so we've been reaching out to people. Got a lot of Indian Americans on my team. And one of the things that I'm committed to doing is to get the younger Indian Americans involved so they can see what a campaign's about, get engaged, get energized, and hopefully get interested in being in politics too.
Yes. And you know, last time when you ran for the first time, what were some of the challenges that you had then, as opposed to what do you think you will have as a challenge this time?
It was a fairly easy race. It was just 4 contestants for 2 seats.
Okay.
And so it wasn't seen as much of a competitive race.
Okay.
We did do a full campaign. We had a full slew of volunteers helping out, and we did that more as a learning experience of how you run campaigns. This time there's 2 seats, 2 incumbents, and 8 people running.
Wow.
And so it's going to have to be, again, a full-fledged campaign. And we've learned a lot from things that we did, and I think one of the things that we're going to use more effectively this time is social media, using Facebook more effectively in reaching out to people.
Yes.
As you know, you've done a lot of that yourself. Yes. And I think there's also been an increased awareness within just the Fremont community as a whole, but also the Indian American community of being engaged, being on commissions and boards, knowing about the political system, and so it's been easier to tap into that as well.
Well, I would say, Anu, that you have quite an edge. You've done quite a bit in Fremont over your years. Can you talk about your key achievements?
I think in terms of significant achievements, one of the things that's been most memorable in terms of getting the community involved and increasing that sense of community pride of saying, Fremont is a great place to live, was our 50th anniversary celebration.
Okay.
It was called Celebrate Fremont. We had that about 4 years ago. I was the event chair, put together a 2-day event at Central Park, and it showcased all of our diversity, all of our talent, our arts, our music, and brought together 800 volunteers.
Wow.
And so for the first time, I think in a long time, people put aside their labels of I am a Muslim American, I'm a Sikh American, came together as Fremonters.
Yes.
We started off the event with probably the most visually compelling event, which is called Hands Around the Lake.
Okay.
We had several hundred people, all in orange t-shirts, holding hands and circling Lake Elizabeth.
Okay.
And to me, that was so symbolic of Fremont coming together.
Yes.
So that probably is one of my proudest achievements in working together with the community and making an event like that happen. On the City Council itself, we've had several things happen. BART to San Jose finally got funded after many, many years, and it's under construction now. So that's huge, not just for Fremont, but for the region and for transit options for people to get to Silicon Valley, San Francisco. So I think that's very significant. We've completed several parks, the dog park, the aqua adventure, the water park. We have, in partnership with Christy Yamaguchi, the Always Dream park that was started. We upgraded a lot of the tot lots so children can use these parks more effectively. We acquired over 100 acres of parkland because I think Fremont is known for its parks and for its emphasis on open spaces, and we want to keep that going. And I think the biggest issue, I think, in the 4 years has been balancing a budget. Given the downturn in the economy, given the state taking away some of our funds, both in redevelopment and city revenues, it's been a hard thing to do to keep the budget balanced and keep the city services going as far as we can.
Yeah. You've had a lot of achievements in the past couple of years, but I think the biggest ones were with Tesla and Solandra. So talk about that and Obama's visit to the Fremont area.
That was probably Fremont's significant moment this year. In April of this year, NUMMI shut down, laying off over 4,000 employees. And so that was a big blow, not just to Fremont, but to the region itself. On the heels of that, we've had some success with attracting green businesses to Fremont. Solyndra, for instance, Solaria. And then just a couple of months ago, we got the announcement that Tesla is moving into the NUMMI site to make the cars here. And in partnership with Toyota is looking to make electric cars here in the future. So that's great news. And I think one of the things we need to do as a city is to be aggressive in marketing Fremont as a regional hub for green businesses, for green tech and clean tech. And I think it's significant that we can reach out to the Indian entrepreneurs and let them know that this is a place to do business in, and to let everybody else know that Fremont is open for more manufacturing and green tech and clean tech, building on the success of what we've had. And I think the significance of Fremont in terms of attracting these businesses and as a place to do business was magnified and reinforced by President Obama's visit here.
Yes.
To Solyndra, and I got a chance to speak with him.
Yes. And what is your vision for Fremont? That's the biggest thing, you know, in the upcoming years.
My background is in architecture and urban planning, and that's what attracted me to getting on City Council. I've served, as you mentioned, on the Planning Commission and then on City Council now. For the past 4 years, the city's been engaged in updating its vision for the next 20 years. Updating a document called the General Plan, which sets the policy and the direction for where the city wants to go. And so that's been a significant milestone. We've had over 80 community meetings, over 35 work sessions at the council. And given my background, I've been very, very involved in directing that to make sure that, what we're doing over the next 20 years is completely sustainable. That we lead Fremont into being a really healthy and thriving community in the future with great jobs. That is a fun place to live in, not just for families with children, but for the children that leave when they get to college age. I'd love for them to come back and live in Fremont. And building on some of our assets that we have, the good schools that we have, the parks and the infrastructure that we talked about, and the absolutely wonderful location. And probably the biggest asset that we have is our diversity and how we need to not just embrace it, but cherish it. We have people from over 150 countries that live in Fremont. So, and festivals like the Festival of India and things like that contribute towards learning from each other's cultures and living harmoniously.
Anu, are there other ways that people can be involved? And how do we actually get people to vote for you during this campaign?
I think one of the first things what we need to do as an Indian American community is to get more people to register to vote. Fremont has a significant number of first-generation immigrants who always have this fond dream of going back to India someday. And so we've got a lot of people that put off becoming citizens, getting involved. And I think it's important for us, even for the amount of time that we are here, to become citizens, to be engaged, register to vote, because if you don't do that, you've lost your chance to talk about the changes that you want, the chance to be part of the change that you want to make for yourself and for the next generation. So I think it's important for us to register to vote, and not just register to vote, to go out there and vote. The turnout from Indian Americans has been significantly low compared to a lot of other groups. So I think that's something that we as a community need to focus on. The Sikh Temple has been doing a good job of having voter registration drives, and we need to continue that focus. We need to continue to get people engaged and get people out to vote.
Anu, I'd like to register to vote, and I know there's people out there that would like to register, because if they haven't registered, they can't vote. So is there a website for that?
It's run by the Alameda County. It's acgov.org. And if you go to that website, they have a lot of information about how you register, when you register. You need to be registered at least 15 days before the election, which this year is on November 2nd. And if you want information by mail, you need to be registered 29 days before the election date. So all of that information is on that website. And I would encourage people to go take a look at that website to get a sense of how simple it is to do it.
Great. Well, thank you so much. Thank you for your time. You've done a wonderful job with Fremont. And I hope that the voters come out and vote this year on November 2nd and actually register at acgov.org and go to your website at anuforfremont.com, because that's really important for making Fremont such a better city than it has been. So thank you so much for your time, Anu.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.